Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're having a special episode of a talk show about diaspora's approach to finances. And together with me in the studio of Diaspora TV Switzerland is Toni Oyeyemi, a financial coach and wealth expert. Welcome, Toni.
Thank you, Nastya. It's a pleasure to be here with Diaspora TV. Thank you very much.
Thank you that you came. So, can you please briefly introduce yourself and tell me about your expertise in financial coaching and why you focused on the context of diaspora communities?
Thank you. Yeah, so I created the company Swiss Money Coach primarily just to focus with diasporas because I discovered that just like myself being a diaspora, I moved to Switzerland about 5 years ago as well, and I've moved around the world and lived in different countries, and that helped me realize that in each country I lived in, just like Switzerland, a lot of the financial content and products are not really tailored for the migrants. You know, they are tailored more for the natives. And I experienced that myself when I moved to Switzerland, and I realized there was not enough information out there, you know. So I created Swiss Money Coach to really help people like myself, and it's been a pleasure to do so far.
So, as I understand, your personal experience inspired you to help similar individuals with migration background.
Correct.
Were there any other aspects?
Yes, so about a year or so of living here, I got the visits, you know, we get the visits from some of the big names, you know, big companies. They come to sit with you from the financial space, and they explain a lot of the products they have for you. And you look at it, and I looked at it with my wife. My wife is from here, she's Swiss, but she's also a migrant. Her parents were migrants, but she's second generation Swiss. And we looked at a lot of the products, and we realized that our goals are actually very different. You know, so we started to do a lot of research to check, okay, are there products out there? Is there information out there for us? And we couldn't find a lot of it, you know. So I decided to really make that like my goal. I wanted to find the best products for myself and for my family, and then that inspired me to then go into the world of finance, to get my financial certification, to understand the knowledge about it, and then to begin to help people like myself.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And what about your knowledge? Have you studied finances somewhere? What is your educational background?
Yes, so I have a financial planning and wealth management certification from Canada, which I studied in. I lived in Canada and I lived in Australia as well. And I also have my master's in animal science, which I guess is not as related to this, but I have a background from science, and then I moved into finance, and I'm currently doing my MBA. So I'm quite knowledgeable on this, and I have a certification in as a stock market analyst or a capital market analyst as well. So I understand the financial markets and can give advice and recommendations on it.
So you have a lot of certificates, basically, and
correct.
Yeah, and
correct.
Where are you doing your MBA?
I'm doing it online, actually.
Oh.
So because it's very convenient for me, I can't go to a classroom. You know, I have my business, I have a family, I have 2 kids. You know, so I'm doing it online, and it allows me to have the flexibility to take courses at my own time. You know, so it's really good.
I think it's very similar to your own courses, right? The approach.
Correct. It's personalized, you know. So, because, you know, that's the most important thing, right? Most people may fit into a box, but not everybody will, right? There are going to be the outliers that have a very unique, you know, system or a unique situation. And that's where we focus as a company. So it's migrants or second generation migrants here, people trying to figure out, okay, how do I want to approach finances? What do I want to do? I may not stay in Switzerland for all my life. I may not retire here. Or I have family back home, right? Or I have assets back home, like things like that. How do I, you know, make the best financial decision based on my own unique situation? So,
yes. And speaking about this topic, perhaps you know some common challenges, some common misconceptions that people with migration background face when managing their finances.
Yes. The first one is really getting the right information that covers their unique situation. So, for example, if you came here like 2 years ago, right? You may not understand first pillar, second pillar, third pillar. You're like, what are these pillars?
Definitely, definitely.
Right? And most of the time, all this information is in German or French or Italian. And in those first 3 years you're in Switzerland, you're not yet fluent in the language, right? So that's the main problem. And then when you talk to a regular Swiss person, they know it, but not enough to explain it to you. They have a plan, right? Their parents have told them, hey, just do this. So they have a plan that works for them, but they don't really know exactly how to tell you, hey, here's exactly what works for you, right? So you're sort of lost. And then when you meet with, people from the big companies that advise people, they are trying to sell you the same thing that they sell to the native Swiss, right? And nothing is wrong with these products. They're just not personalized enough for you as an individual. So the first problem is just going to be knowledge and information. And the second one is going to be, what exactly do I do, right? So the implementation of these steps. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, about the pillars, it's very funny. When I first came to Switzerland, I actually called it pillows and not pillars. Exactly. So even me, I had no idea what that means. Yeah. So I believe there are many people that need really support in that knowledge. Yeah.
Correct.
And talking about different cultures, do you know any cultural factors that are very specific and that influence financial decisions in diaspora?
Yes, the first one is going to be the approach to risk. Like in Switzerland, it's a very stable, very safe country. So the environment tells you, don't take risks, don't look for much growth, look for more savings and stability, right? And this is not in and of itself a problem. The main challenge with that is, for a diaspora, you might be the first of your generation here, which means you need to build wealth. And if you're going to build wealth, you need to take certain knowledgeable risk, right? Well-advised risk. So it could be buying, stocks or shares, things like that. Whereas another person may just want to put their money in the bank and not take any risk. But those people tend to already have some assets, right? They've got their company pension that has been working for them their entire lives, working here. They've got assets from probably their parents as well. So if you come into the system and you're told, don't take any risk, well, how are you going to build wealth? So that is, in my honest opinion, the biggest challenge, right? It's like, how are you going to build wealth for you and then for the next generation from you? Yeah.
Well, that sounds really as a challenge, but I'm sure you know how to solve it, right?
Correct. We have a lot of information around it. There are actually lots of products in Switzerland for people to participate in. They just need to be aware of it. That will be the first one. The second one is going to be how do I call it? It's like the red tape around finances. Lots of people don't talk about money in Switzerland. People don't like to talk about money, even though there's a lot of money in Switzerland, right? So people, it's not easy to just approach people and say, hey, I need help with my finances. So can you tell me, explain everything to me? So that culture around, not talking about wealth or talking about money, it's a barrier for a person like me, who comes in and wants to chat and figure things out. Like, I remember when I first moved here, every person I met, a family friend of my wife's or other people I knew, I was constantly questioning them, tell me about the pension here. Tell me, how do you buy a house here? Like, tell me. And everyone was like, well, my family has a guy. It's like, oh, we have a financial advisor. We have a person. And you're sort of like, everybody has a person. Who is my person, right? Like, who is there to listen to me, to tell me the information I need? And not just tell me, but actually understand my situation. Okay, this person may not stay here for very long. They need to prioritize building wealth versus preserving wealth, things like that. So those things about the culture can be an hindrance or can be a little bit challenging for a diaspora.
The holidays are over and a new year is upon us. It's time to take control of your financial future and get a head start in the new year. Step 1. Set some financial goals. Whether it's saving for a dream vacation, buying a home, or paying off debt, having clear goals will guide your financial decisions. Step 2. Revisit your household budget. Take a close look at your income and expenses. Are there areas where you can cut back or save more? A well-managed budget is the foundation of financial success. Step 3. Fill up your savings and emergency fund. Life is full of surprises, and having a financial cushion can provide peace of mind. Start small, but make consistent contributions to build a solid financial safety net. Step 4. Make sure your insurances are up to date. Protecting your assets and loved ones is crucial. Review your insurance policies to ensure they align with your current needs and circumstances. Step 5. Don't forget to contribute to your pension funds. Planning for retirement is a continuous journey. Regular contributions now can make a significant impact on your future financial well-being. Step 6. Invest. Buy wealth-building assets. Growing your wealth is an essential part of financial success. Explore investment options that align with your risk tolerance and financial goals. Taking these steps will not only give you a financial head start in the new year, but will also set the foundation for long-term financial success. So, are you ready to make this year your best financial year yet? Start now and watch your financial future flourish. Visit our website www.swissmoneycoach.com to learn how to make your money work for you. Here's to a year of financial empowerment and success.
We've already touched this topic of difference between perhaps Swiss financial behaviors and behaviors of those that come to Switzerland. Maybe you know any other differences that you could, or perhaps even similarities that you can highlight.
There are similarities. The first one is nobody wants to lose money.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Like in every culture I've been in and everyone I've met, no one wants to lose money. Everyone wants to be financially secure, right? Everyone wants to be able to plan for the future, right? Like the Swiss culture is amazing in the sense of there is a plan for everything. I remember I sat across one day with a potential client of mine. She's Swiss, and I said, here's what we do for people. And she says to me, oh, I know exactly when I'm going to retire. I know exactly how much I'm going to have. I know exactly. And she was able to tell me the numbers. And I was very surprised. She was like, yeah, my father told me that, and my mom taught me this, and here's what we do. So the culture here has lots of positives, quite a lot of positives. It's well structured, well planned, and we can take advantage of that. And the system as well is very stable. You do not have to worry about extreme bubbles or rises and crashes. You can trust the system to work for you. So that's something that is very, very good.
Yes. Thank you very much for this answer. And perhaps you can elaborate on the financial system in Switzerland itself. So perhaps there are some aspects that individuals should be very much aware of.
I think some of the big ones would be the pension, the insurances, and the way financial products work. So the pension, you can learn about the first pillar, second pillar, third pillar. We can go into that at some other time. There's lots of information around that. But there is something about the way financial products work in Switzerland, which has a little bit of a red tape around it. The system works very well. It's fantastic. It's very secure. However, there are some information that are not disclosed to people when they buy financial products. Like how much of your investment goes towards fees, right? Because the system is built on big insurance companies. Switzerland is a boat on insurance. It's big insurance companies that hold Switzerland, together with the pharma companies. They partner together, right? Of course, there are other aspects like manufacturing and all of that. So I'm not trying to say it's only these two, but in terms of insurances, we've got the main ones that everyone needs to have, and we've got the supplementary. It's on the supplementary side that there's not a lot of information, right? And people think, oh, the more insurance I have, the better it is for me. But it's not always like that. There's a lot of red tapes, like how much of it is fees, You know, how much am I paying? What am I going to get back from it? So, and lots of, you know, migrants don't feel confident enough to ask, to say, okay, what's your fee? What do you get from it? You know, that the person sits across you and says, oh, this is for free. Well, nothing is for free.
Right, that's a good point.
Nothing is for free. The money either comes at the front end or at the back end, but nothing is for free.
That's very true.
Yeah.
And what do you have to say about the legal points, some legal aspects of the perhaps financial planning?
Yes, definitely. You have to protect yourself legally. There are many companies where if you sign with them, you have to follow through. You know, if you sign a 1-year contract, you have to be with them. If you sign a 3-year contract, you have to be with them. But you also need to understand how things work in Switzerland. Everything is contractual, right? If there's a contract, you have to understand the terms of your contract. If you buy a financial product from a second company, like a second-hand company or a middleman company, you have to understand. If you sign a contract with a financial advisor, you have to understand. If you go to change, you know, I remember I have a client a couple of weeks ago, they were thinking to change their health insurance. And they called the insurance provider, one of the big names, to say, I would like to change my insurance. And the insurance company informed them, well, a couple years ago, you signed a contract with a third-party financial advisor. We can't change. You have to contact that person to contact us to change.
Oh, okay.
So you have to understand, because Switzerland follows the rules, right? There are lots of regulations. It's a well-structured country. But if you don't understand it, you may think, you know, from other countries, things are more flexible. They're more personal. Hey, I would like to change this. Oh, sure. I'll call up this person, right? You know your banker by first name, and you can change things. It's more fluid.
Yeah.
But here you need to understand the legal, you know, things behind it, legal backings behind every decision you make, every investment you make. You need to know it so that it doesn't bite you in the back. But not just that, so that you're well protected. You know, so don't get into something without signing a contract or an agreement. Make sure you're well informed. Make sure you know how to get out of it in the case you need to. You know, things like that can go a long way. Yeah.
Yeah. And going deeper into actually people's decisions, I have over here a question from the audience.
Awesome.
Yes, so basically Michael asks that I would like to save and invest, but I end up with nothing at the end of the month. So what should I do?
Yeah, we call that living paycheck to paycheck. So it's the paycheck comes in on the 25th to 26th, and by the 5th, it's gone, you know. And this is one of the realities of living here. We all have bills we have to pay, we have rent and insurances and all. But we actually help people with this, you know, in the course which we have for diasporas here in Switzerland. We teach them in one of the steps in financial freedom in the course is actually how to make a plan for your money. You know, so we show you exactly how to make a plan for every franc that comes into your pocket to ensure that it doesn't just go out. You know, like your wallet should not be like a sieve. Whereas the water comes in, it drips right back into something else, and then you hold your wallet up and it's empty. You know, you should have a plan for how you direct some of your funds into savings, into an emergency fund, and then a part of it into investment while still paying your bills and all of that. And that's what we help people with. You know, we've helped people that have several thousands in debt to come out of that to begin to build a positive net worth. You know, so living paycheck to paycheck is not the best, but we've helped people that have much worse. But you can, with time, come out of that. It's actually very straightforward. We can help Michael and other people in such a situation.
That's good to know. Perhaps Michael can now maybe learn a bit more about your course if you also brief us on that.
Correct. Yeah, so we have a financial course designed. It's called, you can find it at www.10minuteinvestor.ch. It's designed just to help people with not more than 10 minutes a month. You can begin to build wealth here in Switzerland. But it doesn't just tell you about how to invest and how to begin to build wealth. It tells you about how to actually, first of all, arrange your money. Right? What's the plan you have for your life? Okay, how long do you want to be in Switzerland? When do you want to retire? What are your financial goals? You start with that. So you create a financial map, and then you move on to telling your money what to do, how to make your money work for you. So that's the budgeting. We have a template that we actually give people, and they can track their finances every month. You know, here's how much is going to this, here's how much is going to this. Oh dear, I'm paying so much for coffee, you know, like things like that. You can crack down on some things, some expenses, and rearrange your finances, and it really works. And then we also go into the pension and also into investment. So there's more on that coming, and we have a promo video which you can watch and get more information from it. So yeah.
Thank you so much. And talking about such financial goals, how do you think it's better to balance short-term goals and long-term financial security?
Yes, very, very important. So they said the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step, but you need to have that journey mapped out, right? You need to know, what's my long-term overall goal? What do I want? And then from there, what steps do I take in the short term? I see short-term goals as more as the in-between to get into the long term. If your short-term goals are drastically different from your long-term goals, then you would struggle because you may over-invest into one aspect of your life that doesn't compound into the other. So short-term goals should be more like milestones on your way to your long-term goals. Then you're working towards it. So for example, a practical example could be, okay, you want to retire at 50 with 2.5 million francs, because then if you draw down from your portfolio, you can get about 100,000 francs every year, and your money never runs out, it grows more. That's a 4% rule, which we teach. Now, that's the long-term goal. The short-term goal can be, I have some debt. Right, I need to pay this debt off so that I can begin to invest, right? Like if you say, oh, I'm just going to invest, no, every month your money is still going to the debt. So you can't really get there. So you need to have short-term goals that are complementary to your long-term goals, and when you do that, then you can, it's not so much as trying to balance it as it is, it's complementary, you're working towards it. And the best way to put it is, a long-term goal is a series of successful short-term goals that have been accomplished.
Yes, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very important part of investment process, right? And for sure, you also teach about that in the course.
It's number one.
Okay.
It's number one. It's the only thing for everybody. Just have an investment plan that is well diversified, and you're fine. Because you don't want to, like I give the example, I tell people, imagine if you walked into a new shopping mall that has 20 different stores, and you wanted to bet on one. How would you bet? How would you know which company to bet on? Well, that's a nice store, I really like it, they sell tech, that's this, that's food, that's that. Yeah, you can sort of bet on the individual companies, but what if they go bankrupt? What about buy shares in the entire mall? And then if one goes bankrupt and the one comes in, that's a more reasonable approach, because then you have a piece of everything and then you benefit from the growth of it all. So that's what diversification does. It protects the everyday individual.
Yeah, that sounds really good. And by the way, I have another question from the audience that concerns investment.
Fantastic.
Yes, so basically Nicole says, I have been listening to you for a while now and have some money saved up, which I would like to invest. However, I don't know how or what to invest in. What should I do?
Oh, very good question. Well, Nicole is on the right track. So having some money already saved up, I think that's what our course is really designed for. It really will teach you exactly how to do that. I can't talk all about how to begin to invest now, but I think going to the course is a good place to start from. But in Nicole's situation, I think most people should be there, because it's a good place to be where you've saved up some money, you've paid off your debts. Now you have some sort of clear plan, okay, what I want my life to be, and now it's just what do I invest in? So our course teaches all of that. And we also have like blog articles and tons of videos on YouTube, on Instagram that cover a lot of these topics.
Yeah, definitely. So I encourage our audience to visit the website and to have a look at the course from Toni.
Yeah, and also I should say we have a Swiss Money Coach app, by the way.
Oh yes, that's a good point.
Yeah, so if you download the app, it's for free. You get quite a lot of content there as well. So yeah, we have the Swiss Money Coach app, which I always forget to mention for some reason. So.
Cool.
Hey there, future investors. Are you ready to unlock the secrets to financial freedom in just 10 minutes a month? Well, you're in the right place. I gladly introduce to you the 10-minute Investor Coaching Program, the ultimate financial transformation course designed for you right here in the heart of Switzerland. We have 4 modules to this program. The first part of it, you're going to learn about creating a financial map for your life. Imagine having a clear roadmap that guides you through every financial decision you make. We'll show you how to set goals, budget effectively, and create a plan that aligns with your dreams. Now let's talk about the second module, creating a plan for your money and income. We'll teach you practical strategies to manage your cash flow, save for the future, and make your money work harder for you rather than you just working for money. The third module is a game changer. We'll help you maximize your Swiss pension through tax advantage investing. You see, it's not all about just saving. It's about making strategic financial moves that set you up for a comfortable retirement. And here is the magic, module number 4. We'll guide you through buying wealth-producing assets by diving into the world of stock market investing. You'll learn how to navigate the markets, make informed decisions, and watch your wealth grow over time. But here is the best part. All of this in just 10 minutes a month. Our course is designed for busy individuals like you, with bite-sized lessons that fit into your schedule. So are you ready to become the 10-minute investor and take control of your financial destiny? Join us on this transformative journey and let's make your money work for you. Enroll today at www.10minuteinvestor.ch. Don't miss out. Enroll right now at 10minuteinvestor.ch. See you in the course.
Thank you very much, Toni, for being with us today, for so many insights that you brought, and for this overall message.
Thank you. It's been quite a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for having me.
And thank you, dear viewers, for being with us today. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I really invite you to visit swissmoneycoach.com to explore Toni's coach on financial freedom. It was Anastasia Maslukowska and Diaspora TV Switzerland. See you in the next episode.